So yeah, this is the UCR Community Art Garden. It was founded in 2012 as a result of student protests on campus. Students were basically fighting for a safe space to grow food and also learn about sustainable like agriculture and different practices. A lot of students too, they come from like either they're commuters or they live at the dorms or at the apartments, so they don't have access to like land to grow, or even like a little windowsill where you can have like a plant or so. So that's why this place was started. It's a good center for like mental health and also just like learning about more sustainable practices, especially like learning too where your food comes from. So yeah, this is our kind of like the entrance area. We have on our right our community plot spaces. They're 10 by 10 spaces that students and student families and student orgs, they can rent for free of charge. And what they do is they grow their own food. We provide them with different resources such as water, irrigation, different tools like we have in that shed, like extra tools that people donate. So there's like maybe extra timers or shovels, anything really. And we also provide them with like compost too from our compost station that they can use to like for their land. Let me see. We could even walk to some if you'd like to check them out. So student orgs and students can rent these. Right now we have the gardening club on this one. There are some that haven't been tended to in a while. So we have like people cleaning them right now. We just can't clear that one because it has the California poppy on it, you see? Mm-hmm. But yeah, we have like different spaces. I think here they're growing like tomatoes and I think onions. People are barely starting to come back because we've been trying to get them to come out here. But yeah, we actually have here on this plot, it's owned by a professor here. She teaches taiko drumming or like Japanese folk music. And she's growing here. She has like snap peas, different veggies. And she actually owns a plot too with her mom on the other side. So yeah, it's just a really good place to like learn, and like I think we have like student orgs doing it together, so it's like good for like socializing and just like releasing stress together.
How do we sign up to get a plot of land?
Yeah, I think we have our Google form online. I don't know if we've attached it to our link tree, but it should be on our link tree within the week. We've barely assigned somebody actually on our social media because we hadn't had a person on social media for the longest time. I think the resources here at the garden are pretty limited as far as like what we can do, because a lot of this, like us students, we maybe have like 10 interns and one professional staff, but nobody's like doing the program coordinating, or so it's all the student interns really that have to like pull together like the resources to do events and stuff like that. But yeah, that's why we've been really slow on it. But if you're interested, you can just let me know and I can send you the forms. Mm-hmm. Let me see. Because that way it'll be super fast too. I know that the person who's doing our community plots right now, they have a lot because they're trying to start the volunteer days again and all this crazy stuff. But I think now that spring's like coming back, a lot of people are interested, so that's a good thing. I think we had volunteers to clear like some really bad ones in the back. So we've just been clearing them one by one, getting them ready for like people to join back in again.
So when somebody gets a plot of land, I guess does the community garden like help irrigate them, like when they're not able to come to the garden and like maintain it, or is it like the person that has the plot of land, like is it their responsibility to take care of it?
Yeah, it would be their responsibility to take care of it. The only reason is that like we don't really have the time really to come onto this section, because we're dealing with maybe like another 10 acres of land that we use to grow food for students, and that's like our main goal, is just growing food. So this plot of land, like we don't really tend to as much because like we kind of want the community members to take more like action, or like more initiative to like come out and say, okay, this is like a community space, let's work on it together. But we have had some people like volunteers come out, so that's good. We just definitely need a lot of help in these areas. But yeah, if you look alongside the fence line, all these trees, they're fruit trees, so you're free to harvest. I think we have right now loquats too, if you want to try some out. We have guava tree. I think we have some peach trees in the back. Oh yeah, a peach tree, and it actually has a lot of fruit getting ready to produce. Yeah, and you can see some artichokes there. I think some of these plots though they're overgrown, you see, but we've been trying to like contact people to get involved, but sometimes they get a little offended. But yeah, those are actually ready to harvest too. I don't know if anybody's gonna harvest them. Because like with the plots, we're not really allowed to touch them. Yeah, because it's community. It's their like property while they're holding that space. So we do give them like email updates, say hey, like come out to your plot. But yeah, we have a lot of spaces available as you can see. Let me see, you can. What crops would you say are most successful in this part of the land? Anything that's in season, really. Because Riverside,
It looks like the soil is really dry.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think this one is called like Arlington. It's in Arlington, surprisingly. So it's not too bad when it's irrigated properly. I think the reason why it looks really dry too is because a lot of these we have to cut the water because they're wasting water. If they weren't coming out here, if their plants were overgrown, we had to cut the water. But these plants aren't too bad. Like if you're growing veggies, then it's fine in these. But I could see I would suggest though like a drip system so that way you're not wasting too much water.
How often do you have access to it?
Our gate is open 24/7, so you can come whenever you want, really. I think, yeah, this whole section is open, like it doesn't have a lock on it. So we used to have a lock during the pandemic just because we couldn't accept new people.
Yeah.
But now that it's kind of been lifted, like there's no more lock, so you're free to come. And there's tools in the shed too that you can use. Let me see.
So if somebody signs up for that, like, do they show like where their tools are, like things like that?
Yeah, we send you like a form that it's called like our bylaws and kind of contract. So it tells you that you have to tend to your plot. If it goes overgrown for I think we say 2 weeks, then we have to like either like terminate your contract or send you an email update. It also tells you how to get in contact with us if there's an emergency out here, like, and we don't know about it, like a really bad leak in a pipe or something like that. It also tells you like the resources that are available to you, and if you do need help with your irrigation system or setups, then you just have to set a meeting with us, and then we can like help you. Yeah, because we have interns here. I would say Monday through Friday, 8 to 3. We always have at least one person here. So if you come within those days, then you'll be fine. So yeah, I think we have some different. I think the one on the end is actually owned by a student family. They're really cool. They came out. Everybody helped out. I think they're growing sunflowers, tomatoes, a lot of good stuff. These containers that we just got them this week. But the one on the left is actually going to be owned by the R Cycle Co-op. If you guys haven't heard of the R Cycle Co-op, you can look at them up on Instagram. But they're a student organization on campus that fixes bikes for free. So it's a really good resource for students, especially like, paying for the bike repairs can be like really pricey. But they do it for free, I think in accordance with I think they get like a green grant for that, so everything's free. And the one on the right, we're actually going to be using to do our produce giveaways. So that way students don't have to walk all the way to the warehouse like they usually do. We can just have it at the front right here, and it opens like up like that, and it kind of looks like, it's really cute. It has like a little cashier and stuff, like a cashier machine. But yeah, that's what we're going to use it for. I think right now we're just in the process of figuring out like colors to paint, and then hopefully it should be open next quarter or this summer. We'll see. Let me see. This is the event space. It's actually free for if you wanted to host an event with your student organization. We have just a plot of grass and also connections to electricity. So if you wanted to host an event, you would just have to contact us, and you can do that. Let me see. Oh, we have that container on this side. If you see, it's actually, So one of our councilwomen, one of Riverside's councilwomen, her name is Clarissa Cervantes. She's like a self-taught graffiti artist and likes to do like pieces for community spaces. So she did this one for free. Right now, I think this past weekend on Saturday, we were actually just out here and we were like helping her fill in the colors. So it was really cool. I think she just needs to put those last details on it. But you can see it has like the C, UCR, the bell tower. It should be really cool. But yeah, Clarissa Cervantes does a lot of really cool work with like different local artists to paint murals for like local shops on University Avenue. So if you go drive along University Avenue, you'll see different murals, and that's like her team who does those murals. But she does it like a community service too. So what she'll do is she'll like color in like an outline and then like kind of blotch whatever color she wants, and then students or anybody who's like there for community service can fill it in. It's a really cool program though. Yeah, it kind of helps to promote like, you know, local business, shopping, and especially like Riverside, you know, locals. Let me see what else there's these bushes that are along the side right here or behind the container. They're kind of to promote like pollinators or bees to come. That was a program, that was like a research program by a graduate student a couple years ago, but it's still standing. And it does pretty good to attract the bees. If you want, we can, we have those. Those were actually donated to us. It's like seats. The reason why we don't have them occupied is because they're solar panels. They're solar panel, tables and chairs. But I think that the solar system, or the solar panel system, it doesn't work. So we're trying to get some, I think we had like an engineer who was like trying to come out here. But we definitely, if anybody's interested in like solar engineering, or if you know anybody who's a specialist in that, we could use your help too. Yeah, because we have that one and also that one. I think both of them don't work. So they were donated by the campus here, but there's a lot of, I think here, there's a lot of like opportunity for research, or even just like projects that you might want to do. We have the different solar projects. We even have that pink house. I don't know if you can see it. We'll go drive there soon. But it's a greenhouse that uses it has on the top, it's like a solar panel top. But I don't think the solar panel works on that either. I don't know if it's the battery or what, you know. Like a little herb garden. It's really funny though, because I think somebody weeded those last end of herbs, like they thought it was like a weed, so they weeded them. I was like, oh my gosh, that's the oregano. It was really funny though. But we have cilantro, Thai basil, and oregano. And also we had created this trellis system, so that way those plants right there that are growing are slicing cucumbers, and they grow like a vine. So what you can do with the trellises is stick them through, so that way they grow upwards and take less space. So this is kind of like our more of like an experimental section. As you can, I don't know if you can see, but we actually accidentally planted zucchini plants on the first two, thinking that it was like the slicing cucumbers. It's kind of funny though. Oh, and right here is this is reclaimed water. So essentially, I think it's cleaned water, but it's not clean to the standards enough that it would be drinking water. So this is a reclaimed water tank. What happens is we pump some reclaimed water through, and then it can distribute to the plants on this field, and also I think in the orchard. So that way we're not using, we do on occasion use like Riverside treated water, but that's only because the pressure on this system is really light. So when we have our overhead sprinklers, it's not enough pressure to kind of like create a good good flow of water. But if you can see on our right side, we have like what we call the R garden. So this is just like maybe 1 acre of land that we use to grow food. This section is entirely organic. So yeah, we try to do, this one is kind of like our experimental section too. We try to incorporate more like sustainable agricultural practices. Along the sides we have what are called overhead sprinklers, and those, what they do is they're sprinkler heads, so they'll distribute water above the root. We also have different irrigation systems like our drip tape system, and that distributes water to the root. So yeah, I think growing in this field is kale, broccoli, and up ahead we have cabbage and I think more kale. And then we'll keep going.
Do community members, like, can they just come up to the art garden and have them? Or?
I think this section, yeah, like we've had people come into this field and like pick it themselves, which you can do.
Uh-huh.
I think the only thing is that we do spray organic insecticide, so I think the entry is like 2 to 4 hours, so you have to wait within that time. But we'll make like a statement saying that, oh, this field cannot be entered within like those 4 hours. If you're doing like something that's more like non-organic, then the entry would be like 2 days. Yeah, so you're able to and also the back of the orchard. Pomegranate. I think there's like apples and lemons on this side. Yeah. And we have a fence line to keep the rabbits out. But in this field, they like to come in. They'll still find a way.
They'll hop it.
Yeah, I think there's like so many rabbits that live underneath those containers. So they'll like hide there during the day and then come out during the night and like
Will they
feast.
eat the food?
Yeah,
Oh.
they'll eat the food. So
Dang.
we were growing lettuce and they tore right through it. Yeah.
Dang.
That's the thing about this side. Okay, I can. Oh, if you want, I can talk about the orchard. So, the orchard is 1 acre, and it has like mostly citrus. So it has like Valencia oranges. I think those are more in season, maybe February. You can still harvest them. They're really good for juices. So I think peeling is kind of difficult. But they're really juicy, like for juices. And they still have like some ready ones available. But we also have like bananas and guavas along this side, as well as fig. But I think it's very rare. Oh, you like figs? Yeah, me too. I really like to munch on those. We also have an avocado tree right there, but it doesn't produce. We go to another avocado but I think we recently got donated about 3 acres of like avocado trees. So if you guys are interested in like harvesting your own avocados, I think we'll be taking teams out pretty soon.
Can anyone just come back here whenever they want?
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
this also doesn't have a lock on the gate.
Mhm.
It's just we ask, I think, that you don't travel too far past, because we'll see people like on the other side of the field, but that's like ag ops area, or it's not ours. So you might
Is
get
there
in
like
trouble.
a map like that shows where you could walk and where you could harvest? Because I would
actually
love
don't.
to like come and like on my own
Yeah.
time, because David told me
Yeah.
that like you guys distribute
Mhm.
produce at a certain time, but I'm not able to come at those hours.
Yeah.
But like if I can come on my own time, is there like a map that shows like where we could pick the fruit?
That's a
and
good
vegetables
question. I wouldn't mind making one up. I don't know if one exists though.
from? That should be done.
Yeah.
For the community, so that, at least UCR students, so they know.
Yeah, it's because like my boss, is a little picky with people, even in this area too. But I tell people like, it's your guys', it's the students, you know. So that's why if it were to be a map, it'd probably be just like this section.
And then does that include this?
Yeah, I don't know. If I were to make the map, it'd probably be like this only during the open times, which would be like 8 to 3 p.m. But yeah, I'll talk to him about it. Riverside treated water channel. We do use some of it to treat or to water the plants in this section. Yeah, it's open and it flows like downwards. Oh, that's the avocado tree. Yeah, it's cute and it does have fruit. It has some avocado trees. Different kinds. So there's the indeterminate leaf tomatoes, the big round ones. We also have like Roma tomatoes and cherry tomatoes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. During the summer, this will be like a really good spot though. If you guys are trying to get some tomatoes, that way you don't have to buy them. the nutrients can replenish. Unfortunately though, this side we do till because it's more like a bigger operation. We do have to do like faster processes. So the tilling does help though because it breaks down like the organic matter, and then it can be, once you let it rest, it'll replenish the soil with more nutrients, right? To figure out what kind of tasks we want to do or what needs to be done. Right here we have plants that are going to be planted this upcoming, I think this upcoming week we're going to be doing some planting. So we have, this looks like eggplant or, cucumber, cantaloupe here, some onions, we have tomato, I think this is zucchini, oh no, cantaloupe. So we have a lot of cantaloupe growing, and also on the bottom we have plants that didn't quite make the field, but what we do is we put them in these pots, and they're available for those who have community plots to go ahead and take them as transplants, so that way they can grow, start growing, because some people have a hard time starting from seed. But there's some pretty good plants in here. You just gotta pick and choose the good ones, you know. I think this one is like a pepper, and then we have like a lot of zucchini, and then we have like some herbs too. I think we have Thai basil. And we wash produce here in these sinks, so what we'll do is we'll load up the truck with produce, and then we'll come wash it here. You should also still wash your veggies. This net is to keep the birds away because they were eating the tomato plants. So I think somebody engineered this, you see? Yeah. That's the cool thing about being out here, is that like you get hands-on experience in like problem solving. So like little thing like this can actually help, you know? We can go inside if you'd like. I wonder if anybody's here. Just be careful and watch your steps. Sometimes it. So yeah, this is our warehouse. On the inside, we have like this board kind of tells us like what different projects we have going. Yeah, so we have a really big event coming up. It's called our Dig and Dance. It's going to be May 14th, and we have like different projects that we have to do, like trim the trees by the plots or weed the fence lines. And here is our refrigerator where people can come and get their produce from. So we have like bags, and all you have to do is sign in on our iPad. It's charging right now. But what you do is you sign in, and then you can get a bunch of veggies. I think right now we only have like oranges, but you guys are free to get some. They're navel. There's a couple in there. Yeah. And then we also have like cilantro that you can, yeah, we have a cabbage. We unfortunately had to like, we kind of ended our winter supply just because Riverside's weather was like really weird. Yeah. And it's been going like hot to cold, so it's been like really messing with our plants. And here we have like a really big walk-in cooler. This is where we store like all of our produce that we get from the field. So we'll wash it, then we'll bring it here, and then we'll take the oldest from the newest, and then we'll put it in there, so that way like we constantly replenish. I think we don't really allow people inside, but I can show you kind of how it looks. Easy? Yeah, so we have like our system where we put like oldest to newest, and then we have some fans, and you know too, we have extra oranges too, so we can be sure to get you some. And then, so yeah, if you want to look behind you, this is kind of where we come for all of our tools, supplies. So if we have a leak out there on the field, and you gotta come figure out what pieces you need. So we have like valves. Valves are really important to know because they shut off the flow of water, you know, with the turn. We have like pressure regulators, different sizes. This one's a really big one because these are like the ones that are out like on the field. But what they do, you see, this one says 150 psi, so pressures per square inch. So like, I think being out on the field, it's a lot of calculations too needed for like flow rates and figuring out how much water your plants need. So that's where these pressure regulators will come into account. And we have different pieces too, like if you're trying to, let's say we have, this is like what's called like a slip piece, slip to the nipple it's called. And just different pieces. So it's very, not everybody knows how to get these pieces, but once you like keep trying, you'll figure out like how to make like a system like this, you know. And this would be, so we have a sprinkler and like a shut off valve, and this is the valve going in with a pressure regulator, so the flow will come this way and then have a sprinkler and then basically come out this way, but you'd have to shut this off to get the sprinkler to work. Something like that. I think there's like an extra piece laying around. Yeah, and then there's different equipment too, and like tools. We also have like our seeds in the back. You can go. Oh, this is also like vacuum and air compressor if we need it. There's just a lot of like really good stuff, really good like tools if you're like trying to do a project. You basically have everything.
As far as like the pipes and stuff go, so like in there, do the people at the community garden have access to this? Or
Yeah, if they need help with their irrigation, then we can help them out. I think most of it though is ours, so we do try to tell people like to purchase their own equipment, but if they need help, then we'll help them out. Yeah, because like equipment too can be a little pricey. But yeah, I don't think they have access to it necessarily unless we're here.
okay.
Let me see, we have plants. Oh, we can go check out the pink house. Right now it's not occupied, just because we were granted like another greenhouse actually on UCR's grounds. And that greenhouse is new. I think it was just created by agriculture operations. And it's equipped with like an AC unit and all these crazy things, so we can basically plant like lettuce right now if we wanted to during the summer. But yeah, right now there's really not much in here. You can come check it out though. So this is like a vertical planter. It saves water by kind of having like a top to bottom drip. So we have these units available. I think we're gonna try to put tomatoes in them because tomatoes they can grow. I think there's like little stuff for the vines. This is an electric bicycle. I think previous interns in the past used this to get to the other greenhouses. And I think right here we actually have an anaerobic digester. So it's these couple units. I don't know which ones exactly, but the UC San Diego had some people coming over and they were going to do these anaerobic digestion systems, but they stopped. So there's that project too if anybody's interested. It's a really good project for like reducing food waste, and if you go through the GCAP grants, they will basically fund your whole research. Let me see. Yeah, my boss wanted to do like an aquaponics system in here. I think we have solar panels there that are, if anybody like, I'm telling you, if anybody's like interested in like the solar panel research opportunities, we have solar panels here. If you wanted to like get them started, I don't know what kind of, you see here we have 1, 2, 6 of them, so, yeah, it's a good greenhouse. But yeah, and then these pipes. But I'm gonna be fixing up this section. Yeah, because we have some plants in here. I think right now it's just holding like our seeds for. And then alongside this stage, we have like all the different implements that we use to attach to our tractors. So we have like a planting implement, some for like cultivating, which kind of breaks down the ground to like get air in, so that way the roots get exposed to more air. We have like just different stuff, and stuff that'll help you kind of like, I think that one's for seeding. I really like the planter one though, that one's really fun. And it plants it plants, so as the tractor's like driving, two interns on the back will basically put plant by plant, and then it'll plant it automatically.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's cool to see it work too. I think we have some videos online. Alright, we'll get to this section now. Alright, so here in this section we have like our composting stations. Right now we're doing vermicomposting and also a aerated hot composting pile. So we'll check out the vermicomposting first. So vermicomposting is composting with worms. Worms, what they do is they'll eat food waste and then they'll convert it to like what is called like black gold, to like the vermicomposting community. What it is, it's like they excrete like really good nutrients for like plants, and like can kind of serve as like a more sustainable like fertilizer for like plants. So right now we have maybe, I think it's either 1,000 or 5,000 worms in here, but they'll double in population every 3 months, so long as they like the environment that they're in. Unfortunately though, I think it gets kind of hot over here. And worms, the thing about them is that they don't like to be hot and they don't like the sun, so they'll be in there. If you want, we can get a look. Let's see if we can find some, because they've been a little bit upset about the weather, I think.
So how do you keep them cool aside from having the lid open? Do you have to use like ice cubes on top?
Yeah, we do. We have in the past had to use ice cubes. Or even too, watering it helps out. Trying to find a wormy. Oh, there's one. Check it out. Does anybody want to hold it? The thing is though that they don't like the sun, so.
Hey buddy.
Yeah. So worms, what they do is, I think they're called top feeders. So as we put food waste on top, they'll climb and eat up as they go up. So that's why they don't fall all the way to the bottom. Let me see. They really do like their environment though, because they have been growing like some eggs. We have like a professional composter here. Her name's Casey, and she knows everything to know about composting, especially vermicomposting.
Do you teach like people at the community garden how to compost, or is it
Yeah,
like...
we do have some workshops. I think that's what this section is too, right here on this side. So we have like here. Oh, we just got some good stuff in there. Yeah, we emptied our fridge, so we have like a lot of food waste here. So what this is, it's like an aerated hot compost pile. So what you do is, I don't know how often we turn it, but we'll basically pull everything out and then we'll mix it and then put it back in this pile. And you should see like really good compost, like for soil applications and for like soil amendments in I think 2 weeks or 2 to 4 weeks. We had another station that's on the other side of AgOps, where I think it might have been like 30 square feet of like compost, and that was like a lot of that. I think right now we're waiting for somebody else to kind of take over that program, because we only have like a couple of interns here. I think when we were doing that station, it took a lot of our time, but we're hoping that like somebody from like the sustainability center can take over it, or at least kind of give us the resources to start that up again, because it was a really good program. Yeah, and let me see. So that's our composting. I think that might be it, actually.
Are community members able to like pick up compost from the garden?
Yeah, I think we started like a pile of compost that was just on the side. But once we get that program started again, I think it'll be more available. This we might not see too much of though, because this one is kind of harder to manage. I think we've had a couple of failed compost piles, just because it has to reach a certain temperature. I think it's actually I don't want to say because I feel like I'm gonna get it wrong, but it has to reach a certain temperature in order to like kill any like maybe like harmful pathogens or things like that, so that way you can apply it to soil safely, especially if you're gonna put it on like your land. Yeah, composting is really fun though. But yeah, there's a lot of like opportunity for programs too if you're like interested in. Yeah, what are you guys' majors?
I'm environmental.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Environmental?
All of us, yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, we have some environmental engineers actually working here too now. We have me, David, and Iris. So I think we're taking over. So if you guys want to do some workshops over here or like learn more, because I know that we definitely get that, that like, what would it be? We get that experience like with numbers, you know, but it's a whole other thing when you're actually applying it on the job. So if you wanted to do something with like water demand here or something, we can help you out. That's something that I've kind of learned from my experience here is like water demand and how to like, you know, because kind of like how to use, this is very like a problem solving, like critical thinking job where you have to think fast too, because our boss is pretty quick, you know, so he's like, oh, you know, I want you to attach that implement to the tractor, and we'll stare at each other like, you know. But the cool thing is that it's a bunch of like students, and we're all from different backgrounds, so it's not just environmental engineers. We have some people who are gender and sexuality or psychology or different like majors, so that way when we come together it's all like a different thinking, you know. But yeah, I really like it here. I've been here since I say May 2021, so it's gonna be a year. And yeah, it's a really good program here for students. I think, you know, we do wish that there were more, like, because the potential here is really great, you know. I think the potential here, just if we had everything up and running the way that we wanted to, because my boss is like really ambitious, you know. He has a goal of like, you know, not only just helping students with like to like for food, but like helping them learn how to like use those own resources themselves, you know. And there's a lot of potential here. I think the reason why we don't have that, I don't think we just haven't tapped into it yet. And it's because like we haven't really been funded, I would say, by the university. We rely solely on grants, and like I think we try to start like a referendum, kind of to get, I think it was like $5 per university student, but we were advised against it because, you know, I think they didn't want students to get charged, you know, more on their tuition, which is understandable, you know. But I think that a resource like this, you'll get more than $5 out of it if you come. But that's how the system is, you know. We want to get more resources out here. We need a program coordinator to like help us do events like this, where it's just, you know, where we can do more student workshops and stuff like that. Because our boss, he's a professional at growing food for sure, you know, but I think his patience with students, you know, could be better, you know. But like he has these really great ideas as far as like what we want to do. Like he wants to open up this space for like, you know, like poem Wednesdays or something, you know, or even like for music, or because like here at the garden you're tapping into so much. Like it could be like, I think we've had, so this past Saturday we actually had a really nice event where I think it was partnered with like Molina Healthcare and I think the YMCA or something. But basically in the east side area, kind of like on this side of Riverside, There's like what's called like a food desert, which means that there's not really access to like grocery stores or like safe food. So we actually, I think they started a program where they were feeding like elderly like East Side residents using the produce that we would donate to them, and they would like make different recipes and like cookbooks using that produce. So this past Saturday we actually had an event where they all came out, and it was really nice, you know. Think like, you know, there's a correlation between like a healthy lifestyle and sustainability and mental health, and I think that the garden can be that center, you know. I think we just have to tap into that potential. It's been kind of tough too getting people out, like especially after the pandemic, you know. But that's why we're throwing like a really big event on May 14th. It's like the Dig and Dance. What it does is it incorporates dancing, mental health, sustainability all in one, and it's like an event where like you can just come. I think we're going to be having like a planting workshop, so you can actually sow a seed essentially on our land, so that way you can help to feed like, you know, a UCR student down the road. But we're going to be planting, I think it might be either zucchini or tomato plants, but it's just a really good opportunity, you know, because like yeah, I mean, a lot of UCR students struggle with like food insecurity, you know, and I think we need more like resources for that, for sure. So like something like here, you can learn how to grow your own food. I think that's the most rewarding part about this job, is like you're helping to fight food insecurity on campus, you know. But yeah, I think that's it on our tour. So yeah, I would say we're trying to push for funding. I don't know how we're gonna do it. We tried a referendum. I think we were supposed to be getting some money through whatever grants, but yeah, we're really trying to push for funds. So if you guys can just share like what the garden looks like what the potential of the garden could be, that would like help, you know. Yeah. But thanks for letting me guide you on this tour.